Jesus Christ is real and he is king. I hope you guys get right with the Lord today.
Look, I like Kanye West as well, but come on, man. Come on. Hello there! Welcome back to another video on the I Never Live channel. As you can see, there are these fairly ordinary people above me on the top. They're not ordinary, they're bloody lovely. They're on the top left, and you can join them by coming along to twitch.tv/inabber. But if that isn't your pick, if you're not a fan of live streaming, don't worry, my friends, because I will be cutting them all up and putting it into videos on this channel, which you are on right now, which I implore you to subscribe to, because some of you, for some reason, watch the videos and don't actually subscribe. But you could join these people over on Twitch if you really wanted to. I would very much recommend it. All links are in the description. But in today's video, I want to speak about something which I have spoken about a fair amount recently. Big Nik. I covered Big Nik on my channel the other week, and like the video went down fine, of course, but I did receive an interesting email, and it was like, I'm not going to read out directly what the email said, but the person was basically saying, hey, I love your content, but I feel like this video you've done on Big Nik is a bit of a nitpick. He's apologized and addressed the situation involving his podcast, and I think it's unfair that you've made this video after the apology and statement. And, you know, I feel like that would be a really good point if my entire video was solely about his podcast. Now, if you don't know, I advise you to go watch my video, which will now appear on screen in the YouTube video. I don't know if you know, there was a podcast which he hosted with a bunch of other people. It was very misogynistic, and you can see that in other content creators' videos and my video. But I also mainly covered Big Nik's TikTok and why I think it's fairly problematic. I think there are some things on this TikTok which are, you know, spreading some relatively strange messages, and we will get into a few of them. I wanted to take on the criticism of the email that I received and go through this response video, because Nik Is Not Green, wonderful content creator, made a video about Big Nik, which was, I believe, the first video on the situation, and Nik actually responded, saying, my statement regarding the previous podcast I was involved in, thank you, Nik Is Not Green, for taking the time for a great conversation with me. So, you know, it's great that he has responded to it. Like, I'm not gonna, like, criticize this, you know, responding to criticism is a good thing, and I can very much appreciate that. Let's go through this. I've taken a lot of time to reflect on my life recently. Hearing constructive criticism from Nik Is Not Green's latest YouTube videos really changed my heart and approach. If I'm being honest, the whole topic of men and masculinity is not a hill I think is worth to die on. My main goal is to share the love of Jesus and the word of God. Although, I do think there's nothing wrong with being masculine, which there is nothing wrong with being masculine, I feel like my approach on controversial subjects can come off as extreme, and if I'm being honest, sometimes for shock value. Now, this was very interesting to me, and I'm going to continue to read it in a second, but I don't get this because he is still posting extreme views on his TikTok. So when somebody emails me saying, hey, he's responded, I don't think it's fair that you're criticizing him after his response, it's like, bro, he's still, like, speaking about these things. I think, yeah. Like,
if you haven't noticed recently, the Biden administration has been collapsing the American supply chain as multiple ships are left at bay, unable to transport their cargo. And ultimately, the goal of this is to collapse the free world of America to usher in the New World Order. Or
the New World Order, like, ultimately an extremely right-wing conspiracy theory. That's what this is. And this came out a day ago. I don't think you can say that you feel like your approach on controversial subjects can come off as extreme, and if you're being honest, for shock value, when you're posting things like that, you know? So this is what I'm saying. I don't think my video on Big Nik was unfair. I think it was incredibly valid in what I was saying, and I highly recommend you go and watch it, because the main thing I was criticizing was the TikTok. But yeah, let's continue. This is not a Christ-like trait, and this is the reason I reached out to Nik personally and had an amazing dialogue with him. With that being said, I'm opting out of the Mansplain podcast and spending more time on my own content and sharing God's love. My passion is showing the world that there is freedom in building a relationship with the creator of your soul, and I think being sidetracked with mansplain distracted me of my main spiritual purpose. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I love you all. Now, this is actually a really good response when you don't look at any of the context, and I can appreciate that he has taken on some levels of criticism, and he appears to have like gone back on what he said on the podcast, and whether you accept that, completely up to you. But I can't really take it serious when this TikTok still exists, and we're going to go through this again.
Recently, the Biden port their cargo, and ultimately the goal of this is to collapse the free world of America to usher in the New World Order, or the satanic one world government.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually a new world order.
I'm making this video
It's just
today.
like, this is something a lot of right-wing people do. They'll hear somebody say like a phrase which has been commonly spout around their theories. Still, some politician like Biden, for example, will say New World Order in a context which they won't provide, and they'll lose their shit. And in reality, there obviously is going to be some form of new world order given everything that's happened in the last few years. The order being that, yeah, there's going to be regulation amongst traveling. Yeah, vaccinations are going to be like provided to everybody throughout the world. That's just an order which has happened because of some situation which we couldn't control. We could probably make it less, we could control it a little bit if our politicians acted better and quicker, but ultimately there is obviously going to be some changes in this new world because it is a new world. We haven't faced a pandemic like this for over 100 years, since the pandemic of, I think, 1918. You know, it's obviously a new world we are living in, and if you're denying that, you are a complete moron. It's not this conspiracy theory. It's literally this thing which has happened, which we can't help. We can't help that we're trying to protect each other, you know? We can't help that, yeah, things have changed, and we ultimately have to accept that. So when Biden says things like this, or any politician says things like this, I don't lose my shit being like, oh my god, they predicted this. It's like, bro, no, this is literally just like a result of what's happening. It's like with terrorism, you know, in the fight against terrorism, when there's been a lot of things I disagree with it, but ultimately it is a new shift in the world back in like 2001. These are things which change the world regularly and create some form of new world order. The order of the world is changing, you know? But yeah.
To be a watchman for all of you. But I want to let the righteous men and women of God know not to be stressed out because in Psalm...
By the way, I need to also clarify, I don't like Joe Biden. I think he's a terrible person. I need to put that out there. But I just think that these are complete and utter massive reaches.
37:19, it says, even in days of famine they shall be satisfied. But definitely stock up on supplies and food and other items you may need in case they're not available. If you haven't...
It's just absolutely insane. This is what I'm saying. Like, this whole thing is just, I can't take this response seriously when he's posting things like that, guys. Demonic government agenda exposed.
Do y'all remember this show, Stranger Things? What if I told you that this show is actually a documentary to show you what the government is doing in secret rather than just some fictitious TV show? This is called...
Do you see what I mean, chat? Do you see what I mean?
Predictive programming. And to summarize it, it's basically when the media uses psychological conditioning to put these things out there and make them seem like they're sci-fi or they're...
Bro, there was this massive fucking squid monster in another dimension. Where is the predictive program? Do you see what I mean? Like, he is like peddling so many dangerous right-wing theories, you know? And I know for a fact I'm gonna get a bunch of fucking nuts disliking this video. So please, for the love of God, just like this video and comment some support, because it's gonna happen. But ultimately, like, yeah, some theories out there are probably true, but shit like this is mental.
Fictitious, when in reality, these are the agendas that they are carrying out in secret, and I'll show you how. This show was based off of a real-life organization called CERN, and as you can see here in their logo, they got the 666. This organization operates in Geneva. It's a place in Switzerland. This is a photo of inside of their organization. This looks straight...
If the Demogorgon's real, then, Big Nick, how big is the Demogorgon's cock? That's the question I want to have answered. How big is the Demogorgon's cock? Somebody give me an answer to that, please.
Strangely similar to the portal that was used in the show Stranger Things. Even a whistleblower who worked in the organization sounded the alarm that something evil is going on here. This organization is actually opening up interdimensions and allowing demonic creatures to come into our human dimension. Does the Bible have to say anything about that? It actually does. Ephesians 6:12 makes it very clear, we don't wrestle just with flesh and blood, but against principalities, the rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. Yes, Satan and demons are real.
There is like no evidence of this. There was just this one quote being like, yeah guys, some like fucked up shit happens here. And he's like, guys, Stranger Things is real. Like, dude, I like Stranger Things too, and I'm very much looking forward to season 4 and Hopper is a god. But it's not real. Like, Nick, I feel like I'm telling you right now that Santa isn't real. They're actors, Nick. Like, I don't know if you've heard about the film It. The main guy from Stranger Things is also one of the main guys in that film. And also, Nick, he's in Ghostbusters. And I don't think Ghostbusters is real. I don't think it's real. But if it is, maybe I'm scared. Maybe we are... Because it just doesn't make sense, you know? Because he's in 3 different universes, and I'm just confused. Because he also is a real person. But, you know, for some reason, I don't think the Stranger Things being real theory is necessarily correct.
This also means that Jesus Christ is real, and he is king. I hope you guys get right with the Lord today.
Look, I like Kanye West as well, but come on, man. Come on. The Great Deception.
This woman, Anna Mendez Farrell, got a revelation about the end times, specifically Revelation chapter 9. She wrote a...
I think this is gonna... When did this apology come out?
about it in her book
Okay,
Apocalypse, which came out in 2012.
But, I mean,
This
it doesn't really change anything.
chapter is concerning the creatures coming out of the bottomless pit. I want you to take a look at these things I underlined about the crowns of gold and the breastplates. It'll all make sense in just a second.
Guys, subscribe if you think Stranger Things is real. Scarlett says you have to do that. I think Stranger Things might actually be real, guys.
I personally had a vision about the book of Revelation chapter 9 where I saw millions of demons coming out from the abyss with syringes in their hands.
Nick, don't do this. Nick, there are so many things we could be doing right now, and you don't need to be doing this.
And forcing substances upon people which would damage their organs with great pain. Spiritually, they wore golden crowns, which are the exaltation of the scientific mind, and their faces were like me. They appeared humanitarian, but were murderers. They made much noise with their lying advertisements on TV and through every media source, making people addicted to medication they never required or that would not heal them either. They had breastplates.
Nick, you don't need to speak this quickly. You can slow down. There's a 3-minute limit on TikTok. You've done 56 seconds.
Which were protected by governments and insurance companies. Their end is not to heal, but to destroy. This vision from 9 years ago is coming true right now. As she said, there are lying people on TV forcing you to take substances.
No,
which are
true. Vaccinations only got invented this year. True, though. All those things that have been wiped out, you know. I guess vaccinations just never existed until 2021. Fucking hell. It's coming true. It's bloody real, isn't it? And this is why I'm saying this response means fucking nothing to me. Because this is a guy backpedaling the most dangerous possible theories out there. Like, this is not good, guys. And I'm sorry, like, I'm sure the person who sent me an email was respectful and I did reply to them stating why I made the video and why I will continue to criticize Big Nick. This is the shit I'm talking about, man. We can't vibe with this. This is not a vibe. You know, y'all, the vaccine... I just said y'all. Y'all, the vaccine isn't the mark of the beast. Yeah, it's a fucking vaccine. You don't have to look further than, like... I'm gonna pull up the fucking stats, chat. I'm gonna pull up the fucking stats. You guys made me do it. You guys made me pull up these stats. 3/4 of the 150s in hospital with coronavirus are unvaccinated. Oh, what a shock. What a shock. And also... let's look at the COVID stats in the UK, chat. Let's look at those bloody stats in the UK. Oh, the cases are astronomically high because, you know, the government actually don't seem to have any restrictions. Okay, but also the country is, for the majority, fully vaccinated. Not fully, but like as in like the country isn't, everyone hasn't, but the most of the country is, especially amongst the adult population. Oh, look at that. The deaths are mysteriously lower than when the vaccine was widely publicly available. Oh, that's a little bit strange. So the people in ventilators and in hospital are unvaccinated, and deaths are lower after a wide rollout of the vaccine. The vaccines are a problem? Apparently. That's a little bit strange. That's a little bit strange. But, you know, I guess...
and their
demons are taking over, and Dr. Bausi, or however you pronounce it, is an evil man. Oh, bro, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. The vlog squad is terrible, but how do you go from that to this shit, man? Like, I mean, even this one, I have to bring
YouTube has just announced something on their misinformation forum that I think we all need to be aware about. Now, this stuff is in regards to treatment for COVID-19. Stuff like prayer is now treated as misinformation.
This is something I also got some backlash for. People being like, well, you can pray when you're ill. I'm not saying you can't pray when you're ill, but I'm saying you go to a doctor, you get your medication, you go to hospital, you know, you get that shit first, and then you pray. That's, in my opinion, that prayer shouldn't be taken as a form of medication.
As a way to deal with COVID-19. Who's going to tell him that the Word of God says Jesus healed sickness and disease from people, as you can see here in Matthew 9:35? I don't know who's writing this stuff at YouTube, but you need to do better because this is trash. I've seen miracles, and I've seen...
I love how serious he's taking it. Do better, YouTube. Like, you didn't just, like, push a load of fucking right-wing conspiracy theory. Do better, YouTube. You know, what is with Americans saying, do better, guys? I know some of you are American, but what is with that? It's do better how? They've done a really good thing there. Like, prayer isn't going to cure you when you're on a ventilator. I mean, it might bring you some hope, and that's brilliant, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm saying you shouldn't just pray as some form of medication. You probably should take the actual medication provided to you by your doctor. You know, it's just a pretty simple bit of advice, Big Nick. And Nick, if you ever do come down with something, hope to fucking God you go get the medication. Please, for the love of God. But yes, I'm gonna end this segment by saying Bible law. Wait, did he say there's Bible law? I don't see Bible law anywhere. I mean, I guess the Bible does technically have law, like Game of Thrones, but for Christians. But yeah, I'm going to end this by saying I can appreciate the criticism on that video I made, but I feel like my video is incredibly valid, and I highly recommend you go and watch it after this video I'm putting out, not this stream, guys. Stay around. And I don't think this, I mean, I get that he's taken on some levels of criticism, and I can appreciate that, but ultimately, he's still posting this shit. Like, this stuff came out like a day ago, man. I can't take this seriously when we've looked at the TikToks that we have today, and they're still around, and they still exist. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Please come to the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/inabba, where you can watch us just laugh at this terrifying stuff. And also, if you are a nut job and disliking this video, at least subscribe. Okay.